waves. Back again to do yet another investigation, information, whatever you want to call it, live stream. This time about Pope Benedict the 16th. For those of you that know, maybe you do know, maybe you don't know, it is somewhat of breaking news that Pope Benedict the 16th is no longer with us. He is no longer here. He has passed. Anyone watching this stream, please keep in mind to avoid words such as death, suicide, etc., self-harm. Instead of using those words, please use delete, off, passing, something of that nature, but avoid using those particular words. That is probably the only time that I'm going to mention this. I may mention it again throughout the stream, but try to refrain from using those words. Okay. Now, as you can see in the title, with Pope Benedict's transition, it actually provides clues to Twitch and his situation, clues to Shanquella Robinson and her situation, clues to Aunt Heche and her situation, and really clues to a whole host of individuals. But specifically, I want to talk about those three. So before we do, I kindly ask that you hit the subscribe button, notification bell button. Feel free to check out my membership. Also, if you would like to book an appointment with me for reading or for anything, I do them via video chat, video recordings, or phone calls, and I do person or in-person appointments in the Atlanta area. Okay, follow the instructions in the description box of this live stream. Every live stream, every video that I have up, it's not hard to find all the information how to book with me, or just simply go to brainwaste.com. And again, I do life coaching, consulting. It could be about career. It could be about spiritual. It could be about love, spiritual protection, cord cuttings. I mean, you need it. Mediumships with deceased loved ones, etc. I do all of those things and more. Okay, so that's how you get me. That's how you have me. Now, with this particular stream, I did run into a slight issue where, for some reason, I can't get any music to actually come up. So I may not have the background music that I normally have up. All right. I may try to get some music on here, but I did run into that issue. Okay. Just to kind of let you all know. So it is what it is. It's going to be a little bit different this time, but hey, we're doing this stream. All right. And it's better to be here than not be here. So many of you are probably wondering what is going on. I need to go check let me go check the live chat. I know some of you are here. If you are just joining me before I actually get started, I do welcome you to actually communicate with me here. Okay. Feel free to say hi, share your comments, share your thoughts. As long as it's not trolling and anything like negative. Hold on, let me mute that. Okay. As long as you're not trolling, bashing anything, etc., feel free to come through on that note. Okay. Just kind of want to let you all know that. So let me check the live chat here, and then I'll go ahead and give you all just a few more seconds to come in. And what's up, Delta Roots? I see you say what? I don't know if you're referring to saying what about the news of Pope Benedict. What's up, Brian King? I know you said you're ready. Hey, what's up, Felicia? Yeah, this is going to be interesting, especially if you all have read the title. What's up, Wayfia Creations? For those of you that don't know, I did do a live stream earlier today talking about Joseph Joe Mercer Marley, Bob Marley's grandson. Okay, Stephen Marley's son. And I talked about how a lot of things were questionable. Okay. Hey, what's up, Sandy King? What's up, Ayana Scott? Good to have you in the building. Wayfia is asking me, let me see if I can put this on the screen. So she is asking me, did I get the news of Barbara Walters? I did not get the news of her before me actually getting this live stream created. But ironically, she's gone too. Notice that she is a pioneer of TV journalism. Okay, you all know she's been doing this for a long time. She was 93 years old. So she's been with us pretty much this whole century, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, this the whole time, or the height of journalism, or TV journalism rather. She's been there. Okay, why is it that she is no longer with us today on the 31st? Okay, look at this. We have Pope Benedict, who is also a pioneer religious, okay, in the religious space. I'm covering all this for a reason. All right. All of this is here for a reason. So we have the religious space covered with Pope Benedict. Then we have the TV journalism space covered with Barbara Walters. Okay. And I haven't even had a chance to really get into hers. I did hear about it, but like I said, I didn't have time to cover it the way that I would like to, since it's so new and I've just been busy, and it is New Year's. And look, it's 444 right now. So we have the religious space, we have the TV journalist space while we're in this conversation. We have Twitch, we have the dance space. Okay, the artist, the creative artist space there. We have Shanquella. You could say that is almost like the up and coming influencer / maybe average person, if you want to, call her that. And then we have Heche. Okay, then we have the actress or the actor space. Notice how we're occupying different industries, different energies, different spaces. Okay, all of these spaces are what the powers that be, the wicked rulers in high places that the Bible talks about. Wicked rulers in high places. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know scripture. Yeah, those people want to capitalize on all these energies. And I'm saying all of these people and bringing all of this because I'm about to reveal some more clues that I have already mentioned on. Okay, there's a lot of clues here. Look at what Brian King is saying. I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but Broski right here, Brian King, Broski's got it. Broski is on it. He says, I'm with, or basically, I'm like, he's on with this or whatever. He said, there's something really wrong about all those deaths, brother. Like, exactly. Why are we losing all these people? It does not make sense, y'all. This transcends racism. This transcends religion. This transcends all this low vibe stuff that we could even come up with and think. This is not making any sense. Why did it just so happen that today is December 31st, the last day of 2022? 2022 is the year of new beginnings. If you drop the 0 in the 20, the year, okay, or should we say the century of the year, you're left with 222. 222 lines up and it means a perfect alignment of new beginnings. This is a sacrificial, energetic, perfect alignment of new beginnings. It just so happens to be on New Year's Eve that is tied directly into New Year's Day. You can't have New Year's Eve without New Year's Day, New Year's Day without New Year's Eve. This ties 2022 into 2023. And see, a lot of things are about.
The answer is 2045.
Okay, well, Siri says 22 plus 2023 is 2045. Could that perhaps be something about 2045 that they are trying to shoot for? Was that just a random mistake by Siri on my watch? Or is that actually a code? Is that actually something going on? What's up, Mary, Mother of God? Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to everyone watching and listening to the stream. I wanted to have some music going on in the background, y'all. I might try to add something a little bit later, but for some reason, I can't. I don't know what's going on. I can't get any music going this time. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I can't get any music to go. Don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? What I might do is I might add some music anyway. Let me see if I can do something real quick. Try to add some music for y'all in the background. See, they already starting. Already starting. Why is it? Brian King is so right. Why is it that just today, how do we lose Pope Benedict and Barbara Walters in the same day? And you know, all I know is it's 4:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if we go over to the West Coast, we go into Pacific time. You know, it's like 1:48. We got plenty of time when we go over to the West Coast. For all we know, we might hear of one or two or three or four or five. Ain't no telling how many other people may not be with us. Why is it that it's so many people? So Sarah B is asking me, wow, is he now, Sarah, for those of you joining me, we're not using the D word, we're not using the sewer in a word. We're not using any of those words, even though I have it in the title. We want to try to avoid that so that the algorithms don't have a cow, Bart Simpson, and go out. Yes, Barbara Walters is a pioneer. We've lost a pioneer in the TV journalism space. We've lost a religious pioneer, obviously. You see what I'm saying? We've lost a pioneer in the dance space with Twitch. We've lost an up and coming, you could say, average Jane, average Joe pioneer with Shanquella Robinson. Okay. And then we've also lost a pioneer when it comes to the actor space. You know, the role, not the gender. Obviously, Anne Heche is an actress, but she fills that actor space. Okay. And we have some others. Then if you want to add Joseph Marley or Joe Mercer, okay, as he was known more so by, you want to add him, we lost a huge musician, a legacy of a musician. I can't even speak, y'all. A musician. We lost him on Tuesday the 27th, or that's what they told us. I covered him earlier, and I've uncovered a whole lot of nuggets. Now, I'm going to get into some other clues, but this is what people like myself talk about. If sacrifice wasn't real, if these things weren't real, can someone explain to me how we're losing all these people and how they fit that narrative and they fit that story? Can somebody please make it plain and explain to me? Besides the narrative, oh, it's just random. Oh, it just so everything's just random, huh? It just randomly happened, right? That's what they want y'all to believe. Oh, yeah, these are just random acts of God. Just write off on the insurance policy, right? Or maybe the insurance policy won't cover acts of God. They want us to think this. Now, let me show you all something here, okay? Because I want people to understand and know and believe that, wow, I just saw a customer shoots, deletes tire shop employee he thought was stealing his car. Wow. 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 Y'all think I'm making this up. Look, let me see if I can put this on the screen. If I can get it to focus. See if I can get it. Let me see if I can get this to focus. Can y'all see this? Oh, well, I've opened it up so y'all can kind of see what's going on. Look at this. Customer shoots, deletes tire shop employee he thought was stealing his car. This is crazy, y'all. I know it's a little blurry, but I just want y'all to see I'm not making this stuff up. You're going to find, and see, it's New Year's, okay? So I don't know what kind of New Year's Eve plans y'all got, but I suggest you stay safe because it's about to get real crazy today. It's about to get real crazy. People feeling real froggy right now. I'm just telling you, they feeling very, 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 very froggy. Like very froggy. So I hope y'all have safe plans. I really hope y'all have safe plans. I really do. Okay, I'm going to try to get some music going. And try to get some. I might rock this one right here. I think we're going to rock this one. Yeah, I think we might rock this one here. I'm trying to get some music going. Just give me a second, y'all. I'm going to get some music going on here. Because for some reason, my music I don't know what's going on. It's not acting right. So I'm going to have to run something else here, okay? Should just take me just a second. I want y'all to really stop and think about this. I'm getting into the cues, the clues. Yes, I said cues and clues. I'm about to break it down. I'm going to get this music going, and then we finna break some stuff down. About to break it down like a pound. Break it down like a pound. Break it down like a pound. See if I can get this going in here. Because like I said, they want to be, they want to be tripping right now. So it looks like I probably got the music situation. I think I got the music situation handled here. So let me go ahead and show y'all the footage about the Pope. Okay, because some people like that didn't happen. You're making it up. Okay, we about to get into this. I'm gonna show y'all something about the Pope. I'm gonna show you a little something about Barbara Walters. I know I didn't specifically cover her situation, but it just does not make any sense how these people just here and just gone. So they all conveniently got sick at the same time. They all conveniently just left us. What they're actually doing by revealing this, they're playing right into the narrative of sacrifice, year-end sacrifice. They're playing right into it. Right into it. Literally right into it. They playing right into it. Okay. So I'm about to show y'all some footage so that y'all don't think I'm just making this stuff up. And I always like to do that because not so much you all that are here with me, but for anyone else, okay, coming to the stream, they might think that I'm making this up. All right. So let me show y'all facts. And I welcome all of you here. And I'm going to show y'all about these clues about the Pope. And just to add Barbara Walters into it, that's just adding more evidence. And for those of you that didn't watch my stream about Joseph Marley, I broke a lot of stuff down, and a lot of you broke some things down. A lot of you were here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the actual information so that y'all don't think I'm making it up. Okay. And I'll just let y'all listen. Okay.
We do begin this morning with that news out of the Vatican. Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI has died at the age of 95.
The retired pontiff had been ill for some time and had declined in recent days. We're going to look back at his life and his impact on the church and the complicated legacy that he leaves behind. But we do want to begin with NBC's Molly Hunter. She is there in St. Peter's Square this morning in Vatican City with reaction from the faithful. Molly, good morning.
Peter, Kristen, good morning to both of you. That's right. And you can see the huge crowds, and many people, of course, showed up this morning not knowing that, of course, the news would break. We arrived shortly after the news break, started to speak with tourists and people who are offering their prayers. And everyone here felt actually it was incredibly important and meaningful that they got to be here this morning around other faithful, other believers when this news broke. We also have some of the answers we have been wondering from the Holy See Press Office. They just held a press conference, and we now understand that the Pope Emeritus will lie in state. His body body will lie in St. Peter's Basilica starting on Monday to allow the faithful to bid their final farewell. We also now know his funeral will take place on January 5th, 9:30 a.m. on Thursday. And as expected, Pope Francis will preside over that funeral mass. Now, of course, this is the first time that a current pope has presided over a former pope's funeral in centuries. No word on the details of the funeral, whether or not it will be a state funeral. Now, we understand it will be in St. Peter's Square, so we understand it will be open to the public. The only detail we do know is that it will be, quote, in the mode of simplicity, as were his wishes. And we can assume that Benedict would have been very involved in the precedent-setting and history-setting moment and planning of his funeral and of his burial. Kristen, Peter?
All right, Molly Hunter, thank you so much. Of course, he broke so many barriers in a lot of ways.
Okay, I'm gonna run something back. There's something I'm gonna run back in a second. But before I do that, okay, before I do that, I want you all to see that I'm not making this up. Okay, that's the official information. That's the official report. There's several other outlets. It's out there. I'm not making this up. This is no clickbait. I don't get down like that. I'm not like these other creators on here. Not all creators, obviously. I'm not referring to every single creator here on YouTube, but there's a good number of them. They just clickbait you. All they want you to do, they make up crazy thumbnails. It don't make any sense. It doesn't match anything. There's no validity to it. They don't show no proof. They don't answer any questions. All they do is just want to get you to click on their channel, see them, and whatever it is, them try to capitalize on that. Okay. All right. Now, I haven't seen anyone officially cover anything about Pope Francis from a spiritual perspective. No one is questioning anything yet. I understand people got New Year's plans. They probably going to be following suit after me. So that once again, this is the first. And I might jump around and turn around and do Barbara Walters and how all of this ties in as well. I'm going to get to those clues, but you're seeing it first. You're hearing it first. And I want to put that out there. Right now, the only videos are out about the Pope is reporting the story of what happened, reporting the narrative. Now, speaking of reporting the narrative, I want to show y'all something about a big, humongous clue as it relates to Twitch, as it relates to Shanquella, definitely as it relates to Twitch, and even Heche. Okay? So, I'm going to go back to bring the video on the screen. All right? And I want to show y'all something. Let me run this back. I think I went back far enough, and I'm going to point something out here.
From the Holy See press office, they just held a press conference, and we now understand that the
Here we go. Okay, so I want y'all to listen to this.
Pope Emeritus will lie in state. His body will lie in St. Peter's Basilica starting on Monday.
See where they said his body will be? Right out the gate, they're talking about where the Pope's body is going to be. Remember, this is what I've been saying all along. Twitch is someone that is famous, y'all. Y'all got to wake up and get your cup of coffee or have your breakfast, Infinite Waters, or whatever it is that y'all do. You've got to pay attention. Twitch is not some average John Doe nobody. Even if you don't know who he is, I bet you know who he is now. If you didn't previously know who Twitch was, with his transition, with his deletion, you know who he is now. Everybody talking about Twitch unless you've been living under a rock. You turn on social media, you look around, it's been on the news, it's been on entertainment channels. You probably know who he is now. What I'm saying is, I've said this a billion times, I'm going to say it a billion more. We are dealing with public figures, not private figures. So anyone coming up in here talking about, oh, private this and private that, you forego those rights to become a public figure. I repeat, you forego those rights to become a public figure. Now, I'm not saying that public figures don't have any access to any privacy. They do. They have methods of privacy. However, because you're a public figure, you have now lost the ability to be anonymous. You've lost it. You're choosing to sacrifice that for the recognition of being public. I have to stress this because this is a clue here, especially as it relates to Twitch and even Heche. So when people come up in these types of streams and videos like mine, not just mine, but like mine, and they say, oh, you're being mean, they have a right to privacy. Yes and no. When you are a public figure and you make a public announcement that someone has been deleted or they're no longer with us, then you have to make a public announcement of their funeral or some type of closure. You cannot report a life and not report a transition, a deletion, a passing. Y'all have to understand how this works even legally. This is public knowledge. You cannot withhold the deletion or the lack of existence of a person. That is illegal. There has to be some type of record. Has to be a deletion certificate, just like there is a birth certificate. There has to be records of these things. You can't just say, oh, well, they're missing and that's it. There had, regardless of the cause. So what I'm trying to stress and make this as a point is that when it comes to Twitch and people say, oh no, let them be, you. I've already said my point earlier about them being public figures. The public has a right to know about the funeral. Whether they are allowed to attend or not, that's not what I'm saying. The public has an official right by law. I'm stressing this, by law. You can come up here and put your personal opinions in here. I'm not talking about personal opinions. Fact check me, Google me, look this information up. The public has a right, especially when it comes to a public figure, to know about this. The only time I will say the public has no right is if it's detrimental to perhaps some type of legal case or legal situation or legal dynamic that is currently under investigation by the authorities. And maybe because of that, that might compromise or jeopardize any information or the investigation or impede or block anything. That might be a loophole. However, as it relates to Twitch, as it relates to Twitch, this is what we got to stop and think. They said his case was open and closed. I'm giving y'all clues for a reason now. They said his case is open and closed. So if it's open and it's closed, that means there's no investigation to be done. So the whole theory of impeding the investigation, that story, that narrative goes out the window. Okay, I'm not talking about my personal feelings and I'm talking facts. Brian King asked when the Pope died. He literally just died like hours ago. This is literally breaking news. It was this morning, at least here in America. It depends on what time zone you're in. But I know the news was like hot off the press here in the States around 8, 9 o'clock this morning. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to show y'all something about here. We got Pope Francis, and we are finding out they have immediately reported this is where his body is going to be. This is where his funeral is going to be. They got the time of his funeral. And y'all got to stop and think when it comes to dignitaries and affluent people and celebrities and public figures, they stuff be laid out. It be laid out. We not talking about Pookie and Ray Ray and LaQuisha and folks who have no resources, no connections, don't know where to turn. We're talking about people that have things. Okay? So because they have things, these cases, it don't take long for these things to roll out. Y'all see with the Pope, every detail is laid out. So if every detail we just found out in the same day we found out about Pope Benedict XVI no longer being here, in the same day, we get information about where his body is, what's going to happen. But yet with Twitch, we get nothing. We get a silent wife. We get a silent Allison Holker and a silent mom, Miss Connie. And this goes on and on and on. No information, no nothing. And we just get smoke and mirrors. Nothing. And then you get a bunch of fake clickbait funeral videos that I've already talked about in my last live stream about how fake those clickbait funerals are. There is no footage. If those people on YouTube, what are they, some like secret YouTubers or something? What are they, part of the paparazzi or something? If they had captured that type of footage, don't you think everybody else would have captured? You think reporters are not talented enough to have connections to go capture in and make calls to people here and there and get this information? That information would have been drone covered. People would have been there, et cetera, et cetera. And it would have been breaking news, and it would have been legitimized across every news and media outlet on the face of the planet. Every article on TV, on the internet, everything on TV, everywhere you turn on Reddit, it had just been out there. It would have been out there. What is the delay? Watch this again with Pope Francis the same day in the morning when the news was reported of his deletion, him no longer being here. We know where his body's going to lie, okay, as well as when the funeral is going to take place. But we don't know that about Twitch. We still didn't really hear nothing about Anne Heche. Okay, supposedly she was, her cremated. And see, that's another thing. All these celebrities cremated. They say that so you don't see no body, so they can hide the evidence. But she was supposedly cremated and placed on, was it Hollywood? Oh, what's the Hollywood something? I gotta Google it again. I forgot. Let me see where she was in. Like I know some Hollywood cemetery. That's it, Hollywood Forever Cemetery in L.A. Okay, that's where Anne Heche supposedly was. But did we really see any funeral service? Did we get wind of anything? You see what I'm saying? We didn't get nothing. Anne Heche, yet another public figure. These are the clues that I'm trying to talk about. And because of people like myself and other creators and people out here knowing about this stuff, they probably had to do right with the Pope. Notice how with Pope Francis, they came right out the gate with everything. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to have to follow suit with Barbara Walters. For those of you that don't know, Barbara Walters has also left us today. Again, end of the year sacrifice. I ain't even had time to cover this because I just covered Joe Marley, Bob Marley's grandson, Joe Mercer. Okay, I had to cover him. He left us on the 27th. See how we having all this back to back to back. Look at all these December deletions. Twitch gone. I know going back to Anne Heche and Shanquella was a little bit before, but all this also happened during a highly spiritual time. We had the Halloween, sacrifice time with Shanquella. We was having the eclipses then. See, I know about all this stuff spiritually. I just don't talk about it all the time because it scares people off. It's like, oh my gosh, he's talking about all that Satanist. That's occultic. That's demonic. No, it's not. You have to understand what's actually happening. And then in the Bible, in Luke, it tells you to pay attention to signs and wonders. But what do I know? That's just biblical. Thus saith the Lord is telling us to pay attention to these things. What do I know? And if you want to say, thus saith the Lord is evil, that's a whole nother conversation where we can go in there. Y'all ain't even ready for that type of conversation. The point that I'm making is I'm going to run this back. Watch how we have every single detail, as I mentioned, about the Pope, yet we have nothing about Twitch. We ain't heard nothing about Anne Heche. We just know that her body is in a Hollywood cemetery in L.A. And they put something on the wall, but we didn't see nothing. All we saw her was sitting up. They said that her cause of deletion was smoke inhalation and being burned, right? That's what they told us. Yet, all we see on the news footage, she sat up. How do we know those was real paramedics that was wheeling her off in the thing? Why was she in a bag? She was in a bag like she was supposed to be out. Ain't no telling what they did. I guarantee you, after that, they took her out because she wasn't supposed to sit up. And you saw how even the news reporters was like, see? Confirmation. Even the news reporters was like, what is going on? What is going on here, y'all? Why are all these people leaving us if this is not a sacrifice? Can somebody please prove this to me? So, and see, now this is what I want to say before I play the part. So what's up, Hallie Orbison? Now, I read your comment here about no one knowing with your family. This is what I want to say, Miss Hallie Orbison. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. Are you a public figure? Is your uncle a public figure? Notice the word that I said, public figure. Notice what I said, public figure. Is your uncle a public figure? Or are you a public figure? See, everyone is commenting from the private figure role. And that's not what I'm talking about here. If you're a private figure, I don't mean this to be offensive, but just in the sake of argument, I'm trying to state a point here on why I'm saying what I'm saying. If you are a private figure, then you are a nobody in the grand scheme of things. No one knows who you are. No one knows who your family is. And again, I really do not mean any offense, Miss Hallie Orbison, to you or your uncle. I'm trying to stress a point. And this goes for anybody. If you ain't famous, you're not an influencer. You're not out there. You don't do anything in the public. Nobody knows who you are. You're not a public figure. If you have a business and your business is not recognized by the state, you didn't register it with the state, you don't pay taxes, you don't do anything in the community, you're not a publicly stock market traded company. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're a private company, I've said this before in other streams, if you're a private company, then nobody really has to know what's going on with your business. As long as you do it legit, nobody has to know. Nobody's going to know. But the moment you have shareholders and you have all types of investors, then they got to know what's going on. And then the public also has a right to go on. Because after all, you're being a publicly traded company and you have people involved. So that's when they're able to know what's going on. Same thing like when it comes to a president. When you just assume, that was the whole dynamic with our former President Trump. And I know they passed legal this and legal that, but once you assume a certain position, you become a public entity. Pope Benedict is a public entity. Twitch, Stephen Twitch Boss is a public entity. Okay? And Heche is a public entity. Shanquella, it wasn't really there, but I mean, we can kind of almost talk about it just for the sake of conversation. The point that I'm trying to make is with Stephen Twitch Boss, he is a public entity. He is not a private dancer. He is a public dancer, known globally, had a huge following. So when you're a public dancer, you lose that ability to be private. This is what I keep trying to tell y'all. And everybody's looking at, well, I'm private. You live the private sector life. You're not in the public sector. So that's a different conversation. If you're in the private sector, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely so. You're in the private sector, so everything about your life is private. But when you cross over that threshold, you now become public. And the more public you are, the less privacy you have. And this is why I keep saying it is public knowledge, and we have a legal public right to know. Where's my attorneys at? Can I get somebody in the chat that's an attorney? Somebody that understands law and how these processes work? If they're going to report that someone is no longer with us. So this is a public entity. If this was a store, for instance, if they're going to report this store is in existence, so that is the birth of a store, a business that we can shop and patronize with, right? So we understand this business is here. If that business ceases to exist, they have to report that to us in some form or fashion. Whether they put store closing signs up, they say this is going out of business, some mention it has to be mentioned. Where's my attorneys at? I need somebody legally to come up in here that knows what I'm talking about. Before people come up in here and say, oh, well, they got to have privacy. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all don't know what you're talking about when you say that. I'm a public figure. I'm not as public as Twitch. Definitely not as public as the Pope. But I'm a public figure because I'm a content creator and I'm an artist and musician and all this stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Because I'm known in the community. I'm known where I'm going. I'm not as known, at least at this state. Again, it's Twitch. I'm not trying to compare myself to Twitch. I'm definitely not as known as the Pope, but I'm making a point here. Because I'm known, I've lost some ability of privacy. Now, when I step out my house, now when I make moves, now when I do stuff, people might actually recognize me. Just by that, I've lost privacy. So then they recognize what type of clothes I got on, what stores I'm going at, what type of vehicles I'm in, where am I at, what's going on, what I'm eating, what I'm drinking. Next thing you know, they take pictures, they trend, it hits the news, who I'm hanging out with, who you're dating, where you going. You see what I'm saying? You lose all of that because you want to ascend to that position. So when I play this clip, and again, I don't mean any harm. I want to reinforce this and stress this, Miss Hallie Orbison. I'm not saying this to attack you, but I have to reinforce this point. Because people keep saying, "Oh, give Twitch privacy," or give his mom privacy, give his family. No, if they truly wanted privacy, let me make this point here. If they truly were after privacy, they would have been had a funeral service. This would have been done, and that would have been it. Y'all see what they did with Takeoff? From Migos, the rapper Takeoff? Had his funeral service, boom. Matter of fact, had his funeral service at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. See what they did with Takeoff? They put his funeral service in one of the biggest stadiums in the world here in Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It was a packed house for Takeoff. You can't deny he didn't have a service. It was a packed house. All types of celebrities, all types of influencers, all types of people from the bottom to the top and everywhere in between. Where is this for Twitch? Because for I've said this many times, if someone truly wants privacy, then they will have a funeral service as quickly as they can, and that will put closure. The funeral is for the public. That allows us to lay to rest with that individual, to put closure with that individual, to pay last respects. That allows companies, supporters. It's not just family and friends. It's all types of community people, and you just name it. It allows that official closure. Then at that point, the family can have privacy. See, this is how it works, y'all. Think about within your own family. If you're a private entity, let's go on this private entity part, right? I'm saying this because I'm trying to lay some foundational aspects here for y'all to understand on why I'm talking about clues and how this ties in and what goes on. I got to just spend some time here and make it plain. I got to break it down like a pound. I got to drop bars on y'all. I got to drop bars on y'all. Like I said, if anybody's an attorney or expert here in the chat, feel free to chime in, please. I say it all the time. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I have no problems admitting if I'm wrong or whatever. Even when we deal with a person who is in the private sector, right? When your family finds out, okay, your immediate household, let's say it's a family member in your household that is no longer with you, right? As soon as your exterior family finds out about what's going on, guess what? Everybody gonna be talking, everybody gonna be calling, see if you need this, what's what, yada, 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 et cetera, right? Even within that nucleus of your private family, you're not gonna have privacy for that moment. They're gonna say, are you all right? What you need? What can we do? Let's get the funeral arrangements. Folks gonna be fighting over assets. Is there a will? You see what I'm saying? Who gets what, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be communication. Ain't going to be no privacy until the funeral service is done or the cremation or whatever thing you got going on is done. When that is done, even within the private nucleus of your family, then y'all can go about your separate ways. Obviously, if there's no legal spats and fights over, property, will and testament, ownership, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, that's when everything can get quiet. You have your privacy. So even just in the private sector within Twitch's family, there ain't been no funeral. There's going to be talks. There's going to be buzzing. What's going on? Where's the body? This is what I'm trying to say. Now, let's turn this into the public sector. because Twitch was a public figure, just like the Pope here, just like Heche, so many other people, Joseph Marley. What is going on here? And because I'm putting this type of pressure out here, because I'm talking about this and other creators are talking about this, that's why we got this info right off the bat with the Pope. As soon as we found out this morning, I'm about to go ahead and play this back. As soon as we got info here in the States this morning, oh, the Pope's no longer with us. In that same sentence, they talking about here's where his body is right now. They talking about his body is here right now. The funeral service is going to be here at this day, this time. Yeah, it's going to be in this location. It's open to the public. See, this is what I'm saying. They have an obligation to tell us that. Do y'all really think that Pope Benedict, him being a public figure, 1.2 billion, believers, Christians, whatever, people of faith. Okay, that's the numbers. 1.2 billion. He's over 1.2 billion people of faith. Do you really think he can just disappear off the face of the earth and not provide some type of closure? No, he has to. This is the point that I'm trying to reinforce. So I'm going to play this clip again. I want y'all to pay attention how in the news report, it says everything, where his body is currently, what time the funeral is going to be, where the funeral is going to be. It's not even just the day. They give us the exact time. Why haven't we gotten this with Twitch? Why haven't we gotten this with Twitch? And why do we not have this with Heche? And why are we not getting this information with Joe Marley? Now, I know it might be a little too soon because we're only 4 days in. But, why is it we getting the same pattern of everything being quiet again? That's what everybody expects y'all to believe. Just be quiet about it. Let's not talk about it. That's what they want you to do. You want people to not talk about you and your amazing life? I got a lot of amazing people that watch me and follow me and, y'all support me and come here to comment. All y'all are awesome sauce. So you mean to tell me you don't want nobody to talk about you? We want you just to be deleted and that's it? Nobody talk about you, give you privacy, especially when stuff don't make sense? At least with the Pope, they making it make sense. Now, this still does not rule out the year-end sacrifice because it's not ironic that he is not with us on the last day of the year. They've been holding this. You got to go out with a bang. Y'all heard the saying, go out with a bang. So why not bring somebody big like the Pope? And now they bring Barbara Waters. And we don't know. I saw folks talking about Kanye. Ain't no telling what's going on with him and what's going to happen with him because he's been spreading the truth. And everybody's spreading the truth. They've been trying to knock off. Twitch was spreading the truth. Look at his Instagram. Look at all his posts. Very high vibe, very, spiritual, regardless whether you believe in it or not. Ain't no signs of no mental illness or anything. People that encourage others like that, and then you can see that energy reflect through their lives, they ain't on that low vibe stuff. So I'm going to play this again. I kind of stated my claim about public sector figures, and we have a legal right to know. Okay, I don't want to spend too much more time on that, but I'm just sick and tired of seeing people say, oh, privacy. It's a bunch of bull. You're famous. What privacy do you have when you're famous? The only privacy you have is when you disappear off the map. In between you doing your job, whatever it is that you do that has gained you fame and recognition. That's why they go buy them. One of the reasons why they buy homes and stuff and be way out and taking trips so they can get away from everything. That's probably one. And then even then they still got paparazzi and people following them and look at them while they on vacation. So let me play this clip again. And I want y'all to hear they're going to say everything. Why haven't we gotten this about Twitch? Why did they sweep Heche under the rug? We just found out all of a sudden, she was cremated. Her body is at the Hollywood cemetery, in Los Angeles. Sound just like what they trying to say with Twitch, them fake cremation stories. Okay? Just listen. This is Pope. All the information about where he is and what's going on.
Lion State. His body will lie in St. Peter's Basilica starting on Monday to allow the faithful to bid their final farewell. We also now know his funeral will take place on January 5th, 9:30 a.m. on Thursday. And as expected, Pope Francis will preside over that funeral mass. Now, of course, this...
Okay. I just had to say that right there. I just had to say that right there. They said it's going to take place on January the 5th. They know people are going to be back. You know, they're going to be back from their breaks, you know, with the New Year's breaks, time off, school should be back in for most people. That's next Thursday. Okay. Was it 9 or 9:30, whatever, 9, whatever. We'll just say during the hour, 9 a.m. Right. So the thing is, that's going to be publicized. You best believe it's going to be aired on TV. We're going to know about it. Now, they may not have the funeral aired on TV, but what I'm saying is at the very least, the public has the right to know that there's some type of funeral service or something going on. And at the very least, they could say it's closed off to the public. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? This is what the clues that I'm talking about with Twitch and with Heche, they just jump straight into, oh yeah, the body's, that's it with the body. Nobody's seen the body. How do we know the body's there? How do we know they ain't making it up? You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? And for those of you that don't know, the Pope was an extremely high, at the top of the food chain, Freemasonic Satanist. You'll say, but how could the Pope be in that position and be a Satanist? Because they all are. I've been telling y'all this for a long, long time. You do not get to that type of power without making a pact. Who do you make a pact with? You make a pact with God? You don't make a pact with God. You make a pact with the devil. You have pastors that are in this. Again, there is no industry, the all-seeing eye on the back of the dollar bill. Do I need to go pull my wallet out and go get some cash? He's an extremely high-level Satanist. But guess what? He is no longer needed because we have the new Pope that will preside over his funeral service. Do you see what I'm saying? He's no longer needed. He's expendable, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator. Old but not obsolete. Okay? There's no point in him being around. So, they timed it where all of a sudden he conveniently got sick and left. And there's a lot of things that they can do to escalate and speed up a person's sickness and then use that story. Now, I'm not saying that he wasn't absolutely sick. These things we may never officially know. We don't know what they're going to tell us. We don't know if these coroners are legit, toxicology reports, autopsy. We don't know if all this stuff is legit anyway. We just working off of what they give us. But they do these things so they can justify a lot of things. And I personally find it extremely suspicious that the timing is that he's not with us and that he didn't even make it into the new year. I find it extremely suspicious. Excuse me. And then Barbara Walters, the same day. Right when we putting this pressure on here. The same day. I'm leaving the Pope up on the screen for a little bit, y'all, because I want people to see that I'm not making this up. Because it's a lot of clickbait on YouTube. A lot of people making thumbnails and saying that stuff fake. Y'all, I'm not saying just you all, but whoever new is coming here, y'all better fact check these people. And see what I give y'all the truth. I give you nuggets to go back and research and hold me accountable by. Okay, it's so much. It's so many elites that are under this. So many Jesuit elites, Freemasonic, Satan. It's so many people. Y'all will be surprised. And they have a pack and they have a term and they have a time. Maybe with the Pope, maybe his deal was perhaps while you can reign as long as you're currently Pope. And then when a new Pope come in, maybe they had it like after a couple of years or something. There's all types of specifics when it comes to how this is playing out and what's going on and the terms. We may never know specifically, but it's very suspect. However, I believe because we've been putting this out, even with Twitch, they listen to us. I told you I've been contacted by Eddie Neptune Eskridge, which is a dancer on So You Think You Can Dance season 12. So that's probably one of Twitch's, people or associates or whatever. He contacted me. I showed that on my Twitch video. I showed y'all how YouTube sent me the email talking about, do I have mental health issues? Talking about their concern for me. And the only other content creator I've heard publicly admit to that was Ringo TV Reactions. I haven't heard nobody else admit to it. It's possible. Okay, but like, it's not just talking about, they like talking like I have issues. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm good over here. I'm good over here, but that's what they try to do. So the point that I'm making is I find it suspect. Like, as if one person is enough. We still, we ain't even over, speaking of the people that have the title, we're not even over Anne Heche. Like, all these people will be missed. It takes one. No, so Kitty, Neptune didn't say that I was crazy, but Neptune did come on here and let me see if I can show y'all what he said since I brought it up. I know I had the picture handy, and I just want to see if let's see if I stab that picture handy real quick. If not, I'll just show y'all on my phone because I got the screenshot on my phone. See, I be keeping receipts all over because you never know when they try to like do something. I'll just put it like that. You never know when they try to do something. I might just end up showing y'all on my phone. I'm just trying to see if I can find the picture. I mean, I have ways of like sending it back or getting it on a computer or whatever. I really don't feel like going through all of that right now. But the point that I'm making is what he said was he was basically like calling everything that I was saying about Twitch a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, I have one of the most trending videos with Twitch out there. And I'm not saying that like to, what do they say, to brag or whatever, but I'm just making a point. They see what I'm putting out. They see what I'm talking about. And I can't help but to think that they probably thought about that when it came to reporting Pope Francis. And we're going to see if that's going to be the same thing with Barbara Walters. We're going to see if they're going to be reporting, I'm just going to show y'all on my phone because I don't feel like sending it right now. Hopefully y'all can see it. But they see and they know. If it doesn't come through clear, then I'm going to send it. I am going to make sure that I pull it up on the screen. Just people just do not understand how this thing works. Like, it's just okay, here we go. So this was on, I don't know how well this is going to show up. I'm going to take the Pope off the screen real quick. If it doesn't show up too well, then I'm going to put this on the screen so y'all can fully see it. Okay, y'all should be able to see that. This was at 8:42 in the morning when I took it. So this was on my comment. It was a comment on my Stephen Twitch boss, True Secret Ritual Murder and Sacrifice No Mental Illness video. Okay, so y'all see the thumbnail. So Eddie Neptune Eskridge, y'all see him, right? He said these conspiracy theories are dumb. And none of this, he didn't even spell none right. It was a typo, but he said none of this is true. Let him rest in peace. Y'all see what I replied at the bottom. I said, but I couldn't reply it because he had already deleted his comment. He says, I said, I expect a comment like this from someone in the industry. I've been there and done that myself. I told you I used to be like in the industry. Thanks a lot for sharing this with us because you've just revealed that people see what's what. Okay, I just want to show you that's one of the people contacting me. Like when I say I have people contacting me and stuff, I'm not making this stuff up. So what I'm saying is that these industry people see my videos. These Freemasons, these Luciferians, these Satanists, these people doing these sacrifices have seen my videos, and I'm showing that no, they have seen other people's videos. Okay. So with the Pope, they probably was like, man, we got to come out the gate and just report what's going on. Notice how we got all the detail. Look, we can't say that narrative with the Pope. And this is the narrative I had also been saying about Twitch. Had they came out and did that, then we would be able to not put out content about that because then we will have all the information about what's going on. Do y'all see what I'm trying to say here? We would have had everything. We would have had everything. Let me see if I can get a little music going in here. Let me see if I can get a little music going. All right, your music is. If y'all can hear the music, if y'all can't, I just wanted a little music in the background because, they kind of tripping. You know what I'm saying? They tripping. So, like Kitty says, they like to make it sound like woke people are nuts. Exactly. That's what they did to Twitch. They made him sound like he was nuts because they made it sound like he had mental health issues. He did not. Okay, so y'all can hear. Thank you so much, Sarah B. Yeah, they it's just crazy. Okay, so y'all can hear the music. Let me I did this on purpose, y'all. I'm still here. Still here. Okay, just want to let y'all know. I just did that on purpose. So, again, these are clues where it ties in. These people impact us whether we realize it or not. Okay, and then they're no longer with us. And then we haven't even gotten over one person, and then we have someone else. And then we have someone else, and look at what we have all in the same day, and the day is still young, or as they say, the night is young. Crazy things happen during New Year's Eve. How convenient would it be if we lose another public figure during New Year's Eve, or several public figures? Anything can happen right now. I'm talking about this first. Nobody's out here is covering this first. Nobody's covered the Pope first. Yes, people have covered the story of him being deleted, but no one's covering any connection of sacrifice and what's going on here. This is a big harness of energy that they're trying to do, because when we're getting into 2023, we're going to be hitting the ground running. And I felt and I knew there was going to be someone big, just like we did earlier in January with Kobe. But apparently they already started now in December. They're not even waiting until the new year. And we got Barbara Walters. Look, let me look real quick with Barbara Walters. Let me just check something out real quick and see what's what. I mean, say it ain't so. Somebody please tell me it ain't so. Someone please tell me these people are still here. Can somebody please verify that they still here? Because that narrative of um that people say that, well, maybe they're still alive, but they're just hidden or somewhere. When I do my spiritual sessions, and other people have done these spiritual sessions, and I'm talking about people that are accurate. I'm not talking about people that don't know what they're doing. When we do these things and we hear communication and they come through and verify, and we're feeling and we're seeing and we're getting stuff, and we know these people aren't with us, that's as best of proof as we can give you all, because obviously they not going to give us the full proof, but that's as best of proof as we could give y'all that they're in some state of spiritual transition. Wow, that's something here. Logic Lemonade says, do you guys remember like 10 years ago the Pope disappeared from the window? We guess holograms. Thank you so much, Sharon. And I'm so thankful for y'all to be spending your early or whatever time New Year's Eve with me. Okay, because like I'm spending time out for my family. I mean, we ain't going nowhere doing nothing. And my wife knows, my son knows, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm here because this is serious. And we ain't even we didn't even pull an infinite waters yet. We ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? Damn. We haven't even had breakfast yet. And look at what's taking place. Let me look at this Barbara Waters quick. Now, I'm going to cover her too. Am I the only one that thinks it's just too much? This is like overwhelming. This is overwhelming. What do you mean Barbara Walters is not here? I ain't even over Shanquella. I can't even keep up with Twitch. And Heche and all these other people. Joseph Marley and Jake Flint. There's so many people I didn't cover. Who knows who Jake Flint is from Red Dirt? Who knows who Jake Flint is from Red Dirt? Do y'all know who Jake Flint is? I don't know if y'all know who it is, but Google him. He left us 37 hours after he got married. And he said it was a medical condition, but his wife is like, I don't know. And you see a lot of people, they're married and then they're leaving us. Y'all, I just haven't covered, there's so many stories yet, and I will, especially if y'all want. Now, the story here is, you know what? If I'm reading it, let me just put it on the screen right now. There's no point in me reading it and you all not reading it, because for all I know, I might need to document my videos before they sit up here and take something down. Ain't no telling. Okay. So they said she left us at 93. And see, here's goes this pattern of 4 again, because okay, never mind. Let me just read this article first before I get into that. It says she passed away peacefully in her home, surrounded by loved ones. Okay, there was no immediate word on a cause of her deletion. We're gonna see what's what, but why did she just pass peacefully in her home? I mean, I know she was in age, but I don't know, y'all. I don't know, y'all. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Look what Kitty Loves Kale says. I'm not buying it, y'all. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it, y'all. I don't know what to say, y'all. There are 6 clues into this. And like I said, if we're getting information in this, then it's so funny. Cassie says, what am I not buying? That's hilarious. What's up, Cassie? I'm not buying that this is just a natural cause of deletion. That we lose the Pope on the last day of the year. That we lose Barbara on the last day of the year. I heard people talking about Kanye, Kanye West, telling what might happen. The night is young. It is only 5:46 here in Eastern Standard Time, 5:46 p.m. The night is young. We could get a list of a whole lot more. I'm not buying it. It's just a natural, oh, they're just no longer here and that's it. No, y'all got to get y'all year-end sacrifices in. And they just don't want us to talk about it. They don't want us to question it. They want us to go up the narrative, go up the status quo, and that's all to it. Because there's many ways to even preserve someone's life, for the most part, for decisions to be made, for respects to be paid, etc., etc. Especially based upon these so-called causes of deletion that they're giving us. The timing is just impeccable, y'all. It just reinforces the whole narrative of a year in sacrifice. Because they could have waited until tomorrow with the Pope. How come they didn't wait until tomorrow? They didn't wait till Sunday. Why it gotta be today? Because they gotta get it in today before tomorrow. They have to report about it today before tomorrow. Do you see what I'm saying? If they report about it tomorrow, then it's too late. They gotta close this out and tie this energy up as far as how sacrifice works this side of the year. You know how they say that you got to hurry up and clean up your house, or you got to wash clothes, all these superstitions, have these things done before the year starts. Because if you don't do it before midnight, then you're going to carry that into the next year. Yeah, exactly. They don't properly investigate this because they are told not to investigate it. Because they also are a lot of times a part of what happened. They are a part of the sacrifice. Remember, y'all, we're talking about satanic sacrifice. We're talking about evil sacrifice, demonic sacrifice. We're not talking about a normal life, normal situations. And this is what we have to look at. So I'm on it because I'm getting the hot girls spam streams. See, that's when I'm talking about it. So you're saying, why I gotta have the hot girl spam stream when I'm talking about the Pope? That in itself is disrespectful. Crazy. Okay? It's crazy, y'all. And again, why information about Twitch? Why haven't we been shown pictures? We haven't been given things. They spoon feed and they give it to you later. Why no update with Shanquella? All of a sudden, it's like her case just fell off the map. Nobody's covering it on social media. So it's like, okay, good. Now we're going to go ahead and get away with it. Because it was satanic. They sacrificed her. It was planned. This is what people do. They've been doing this long before Christ. This comes before Christ. This sacrifice stuff goes before Christ. Y'all need to look this stuff up. This is not something new. This is not something that just came about in the past 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years. See? Look at what Sharon is saying, y'all. Sharon Linton is saying, OMG, her parents used to do these things. You know how many parents had their kids knocked off? And y'all want to think that just because it's family, that's an area that people won't do anything? No, that's the main area they do it because they need that bloodline. Again, because it's about blood sacrifice. They got to have access to that bloodline. Got to be somebody close to you. It's not going to work if it's someone that's far off from you. It got to be somebody close. Like with the takeoff situation. Okay? Offset removed himself from the situation. That's his excuse. I'm married to Cardi and I'm over here, I'm part of Migos and we had our beef. He over here. But when it comes to Quavo and Takeoff, they was cousins. I don't care if it was, I don't care how you fold or play it off. Like, it's crazy. It's just, like I said, they were cousins, and that's why it had to happen. It's family. That happens. They do this with family. And I just want you all to keep that in mind and think about this. Now, I see, look, yeah, they're Freemasons. That is correct. Law enforcement is involved. Do y'all know how many police officers and high-ranking officials and military people that I've come across that I know that knows about this stuff and about how corrupt stuff goes on. I told y'all, Denzel Training Day. They hide the truth in plain sight. If no one knew what went on with police and law enforcement, obviously this is not all of them. I'm not attacking police. Don't get this twisted. Don't take what I'm saying and try to run with it. I'm making a point here. When Denzel did the movie Training Day, it showed us how they can make whatever evidence they want, make whatever story they want, et cetera, et cetera. So if the police can do this, you don't think the paramedics can't do this? You don't think the medical staff can't do this? You don't think the coroner can't do this? Autopsy reports, you don't think that anything can come out? Will we truly even know? And then to add on to it, like Lashivita is saying, holograms. How do we know what's real, what we're being shown? There's so much to this. Now, I will tell you one thing. You might be able to fool the natural eye, but you can't fool the spiritual eye. So when people look into these things spiritually, and that's why I bring those skill sets, we see things and we see clues and we pick up on things that they can't deceive. You can't deceive God's eye. You can deceive man, but you can't deceive God. So much. Look at these points I'm putting on. Our own government, starting with human experiments, except eugenics. Remember the Flint, Michigan water issues? Man, I can bring up a whole bunch of stuff. They are doing a ton of things. These people that make these decisions are evil. They're satanic. They're demonic. These aren't God-fearing, believing Christians and, Buddhists and, they may have came from that religion. But regardless, even if that's their quote-unquote religion, they're Satanists. You have a lot of pastors and ministers and religious leaders, even with the Pope, they're Satanists. This is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. So why would we try to do anything right? But what do I know? All of these things are revealing clues about Twitch. Why is there no follow-up with Shanquella? Did the Cabo 6 really get away with murder? Is there ever going to be justice for Shanquella? I mean, after all, that could be any of us. We go on a trip with our friends or family, and then they be the ones who knock you off. See who knocked these people off? Shanquella. It was her friends, close friends. Okay, suspect with Twitch, family. All these people seems like family. And Heche. They tried to make her seem like she was crazy because she was crazy for denying being with Ellen. That's what they really was trying to say. I mean, you don't want to be with Ellen and have access to this money and power. Or Portia de Rossi took the offer. She took the offer. All of these things are offering clues. Yeah, false idols. You're right. Worshiping these false idols, trying to become a false idol. But that's what the devil will offer you. That's what the devil offers you at 555. Okay, 555. At least with Pope Benedict's story, it makes sense. Okay, he was ill, he was sick, whatever. He had seemed to be stable at one point in time. Then his health declined. Here we go. He transitioned. We know where we can view the body to pay respects. I'm telling you, cremation. Most people, let me down. This might be triggering. I'm not saying people don't choose this. There are some people that choose to have their body, handled in this manner. But I want to make a point here. Generally, cremation is for poor people. Okay, I'm just going to be as blunt as I can. Cremation is generally a path for poor people because they can't afford $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, or whatever the price costs with funeral. Why? Because a lot of people do not have life insurance policies. I used to be a licensed insurance agent. You'd be surprised. Celebrities, influencers, they don't be having insurance policies. And then people got to start a GoFundMe. Again, cremation is generally for people that have no money. These celebrities, these influencers, these public figures got money. They got access to it. They got resources. They got friends. They got people. Somebody could surely even loan them the money. Somebody got something. See, y'all know about this. Ayana, she knows. She could tell you some stories. This is what they do, people. This is what they do. Welcome to the corrupt world that we live in. And all I got to say is if we got all these clues about the Pope, why aren't we getting these clues about other people? Why aren't we getting these clues about the stories? You really mean to tell me in this day and age of technology and resource and connectivity that law enforcement and people and all these organizations don't have the means to discover stuff? Man, they be uncovering cases and solving and coming with evidence 50 years, 80 years, 100 years ago. They be cracking cases a long time ago. You mean to tell me they can't crack anything? Now, I agree with what you're saying, Shane. I do agree with the choice. Some people do choose cremation. But what I'm trying to make is I find it very suspicious that all of these cases that I mentioned and more that we don't know anything about, that we haven't seen a body or we don't know what's what, even if you have okay, let me break this down. Y'all do understand that you can have a funeral service and still have the body cremated, right? Let me repeat. Y'all do understand that you can still have a funeral service and have the body cremated. I repeat, y'all do understand that you can have a funeral service and still have the body cremated. Many people do this. Many people do this. However, you generally see a funeral service. What I'm trying to say is if you jump directly to no viewing of the body, no family, no private, no public, no nothing, you go straight into cremation. Something smells fishy with that, especially when you're talking about a celebrity and a public figure. Now, I'm not saying it can't be done. It is done and it does happen. That's not what I'm saying. But again, think about public figures. Everything you do is supposed to be public. Why all of a sudden you got to go private? Why is that part private? And even if that part was private, then you would publicly have information out there that we would be aware of so that we wouldn't. It'd be nothing to question. It'd be no reason to create content, no videos, no none of this. But they don't do that. All of this stuff is clues. But they had to do it with the Pope. Because see, the Pope is super big. Instead of millions, you're talking about billions of people. Over 1.2 billion believers that he impacted. So if things came up fishy about the Pope, well, where's his body? What do you mean we can't pay respects to his body? You know, you mean there's no funeral service with the Pope? People going to start questioning stuff. Well, was the Pope really sick? Or did they do something to make him sick? Did something happen? You see what I'm trying to say here? And then you have billions of people questioning this whole scenario. Oh, they can't have that. The powers that be can't have that. So they had to go ahead and get all the information out, especially since they see people like myself and other people out here, creators, putting this information out. See what I'm saying? You put information out. See what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? Got to put this information out. That's too many people raising questions. Then that many people is going to gain awareness, and then they're going to start looking back into these situations. What happened to all these people? They're going to start going back years, not just this year. They're going to start looking at celebrities and public figures years ago. They're going to start asking questions and applying pressure. See, they can't have that. So they went on and did that. But they didn't expect this response for Twitch. They didn't expect this response for Shanquella and Heche, these other people. The list goes on and on. So what they're doing is they're being quiet about it. What happens when you dumbfound someone? Their response is speechlessness. They're speechless for an amount of time. So now they got to figure out, well, they on us. They looking at us. They got spiritualists who can do spiritual sessions and look at this stuff. See, y'all got to stop and think. I'm not like your average creator. I got a whole spiritual skill set. I can look at this stuff every which way. Yeah, I could fact check. I know numerology. I can break this down. How this works. I can do spirit sessions. I can do tarot. Look at this. I'm gifted period without those tools. I don't even need those tools to pick this stuff. And there's others. I've worked with others. I will continue to work with others. We're owed a right to say goodbye to these public figures. If we weren't owed a right to say goodbye, then why on earth, heaven and hell, is the Pope, Pope Benedict the 16th, having a viewing of the body and a funeral service that has already been announced? Somebody make it make sense. See, now look at this. So while I'm doing this, because I can't cover everybody back to back, but while I'm doing, you said people are making videos about Ye missing. I hope it's clickbait. I hope it's clickbait too. But I wouldn't be surprised. I told you they going out with a bang with this year. See, let me show you how this will be. See, they did it 2 days ago. Rapper Theophilus London, a Kanye West collaborator, reported missing. Kanye West business manager can't locate erratic star to serve him with a 4.5 what's this $4.5 million lawsuit. Y'all, Kanye just might be the next person that I'm going to be covering. I might have to jump straight to Ye. Do you see the pattern? I just got finished saying this. Year in sacrifice. If Kanye is missing, will we receive reports today or tomorrow that he's no longer with us? Will he be the next Twitch? Will he be the next Shanquella Robinson? Will he be the next Heche? Something is up. And when somebody knows perhaps their life is up or time is up, they're going to be coming out. I told y'all they have contracts and they have time. They're on borrowed time here. Their time is borrowed. It's limited. I might have to jump into this Kanye thing. Y'all want me to switch gears and jump into the Kanye thing? Y'all let me know in the comment section. But I think we've got enough clues here with the Pope. See, they got to cover it. See, now with Kanye, they can still leave some gray area. Do you see what I'm saying? They ain't got to answer all these questions, but they know with the Pope they got to do it. It'd be too many people raising eyebrows. Y'all let me know in the comment section if y'all want me to switch gears. I got 2 yeses. B. Smith says yes. Donna Jill says yes. Y'all let me know. I'm going to switch gears with Kanye because I've seen some stuff. I'm going to pull some stuff up and I'm going to start looking at stuff. I'm getting all these yeses. Queen Oprah says yes. See, I would just start talking about Kanye here, but I don't want to confuse anyone with the titles and the information, and I don't want things to be clickbait. So I would officially end this stream and then officially go and like create another, you see, say it'd be a whole new thumbnail, whole new everything, talk about Ye. I got a lot of yeses, so I'm probably going to be wrapping this up. I get more Sandy. Everybody saying, yeah. I think we need to switch gears into Kanye because I want to tell y'all something spiritually. Now that I'm like going there and looking into stuff, I don't like the energy that I'm feeling. It is a lot of level of I'm feeling scared and I'm concerned. And I can't help but to say I really feel like something's about to happen. I don't feel like he's gone yet. I still feel his energy and his spirit here. But I feel like he might be leaving us. You know, it's the same thing like Twitch. See, when you get wind of this, everything starts shifting. These are clues. I'm about to look into this. We about to look into this. See, all of these clues. One thing is synonymous here. Year-end sacrifice. Whether it's December, the last month, all these people. And this is ridiculous. Like I said, where does it stop? If we don't speak up about Twitch, if we don't speak up here about Shanquella, if we don't tie all this in, you see what I'm saying? If we don't tie all this stuff in, when is it going to end? They'll just have full liberty to keep going because nobody will question anything. Yeah, Sarah B is right. Bodyguards can be in on it too. Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you this, spiritually, what I'm picking up now that I'm tapping into Kanye's energy, I don't like it. I don't like this scenario, and I feel that he might be leaving us, y'all. It's feeling like it. If I have to answer spiritually, if y'all ask me to do a reading and look into this right now, that's what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like he might not be here much longer. Just know I'm already saying it. If something happens, I do not want something to happen. I do not want something to happen, but it's the year end. It's like, what's that movie? The Purge. It's like The Purge, y'all. Everybody get a turn. I'm saying this because, like Brian King says, now you know something is wrong. We can't even properly, like I was saying, mourn, grieve. They want to talk about mourning and grieving. What about the public? We got a right to mourn and grieve too. Y'all, this is crazy. I might have to look into Kanye. It's just like The Purge. So, sheesh. Please know there may be follow-ups here, but I did review review and reveal clues as it relates to Twitch and Shanquella and Heche and really everybody. See how they threw everything out on day one, right where they mentioned it with the Pope? So they should be able to do the same thing here when it comes to the other people that I mentioned. I'll get back to this and follow up later. But right now, I'm going to bring this to a close. And we're going to take a look here into this Ye whatever, because this ain't cool. So I'm going to go ahead and end this stream and go ahead and follow right back up with a Kanye stream, because this is concerning. This is very concerning. But you heard it first here. I put it out about Pope. There are no other videos about Pope Benedict XVI other than news reports about him no longer being here. But I'm calling it first. It is definitely a year of sacrifice. He is no longer needed because we've had the new Pope in there. You know, it's the end of the year. It's the perfect time for them to harvest all this stuff, et cetera, et cetera. This is why we having all this stuff going. A lot of people take part in this. They all be in it to it, all connected to organizations. This is a whole movement. So we about to look into Ye, or Ye, however you want to say his name, Kanye, and see what's going on. All right? I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Look for the thumbnail announcement to come, and I'll be right back up with this Kanye video. Y'all, please tell me it ain't so. Please tell me it's just a bad dream. Somebody, please tell me this is a bad dream. Gosh. Sheesh. If you haven't subscribed, I kindly ask that you do so. Please hit the notification bell. Check out my membership section. If you would like to book an appointment with me for a reading, I do love guidance, career guidance, spiritual guidance. I'm a life coach, consultant. I do it all. If you need cord cutting, protection, spiritual cleanse, birth charts, natal charts, romantic compatibility, you name it, all that stuff, I do it all. I do it via phone call, video chat, and video recording. And I also serve the local Atlanta, Georgia area person. Okay? So I got that out there. Please hit the like button. Let some people kind of see what's going on, because nobody else is covering this type of content. Nobody. I'm the first to cover Joe Mercer without being clickbait. Okay? That's Joe Mercer Marley, Bob Marley's grandson. They both left us in their 30s. Okay? Same thing. I'm covering the first person to cover here with Pope Benedict and his spiritual connection. And I'm about to roll in here with Yee and see what in the world is going on. And I don't like the energy that I'm spiritually already picking up on. Like, if y'all were coming to me in an appointment, hi, excuse me, well, could you look into Kanye West? And I don't like what I'm getting already. It don't look good. So we about to go there and look into some things. I'll be back in a flash, literally in a few minutes. Look for that thumbnail to come up, and we'll be right back in this thing, okay? I love y'all. Please stay safe for this New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day. It's going to be crazy. Be surprised if something happened in these gatherings that they're going to be advertising on TV. I don't want nothing to happen, but I would not be surprised. This harvest season, it's like all bets are off. They going like ham. They going hard in the paint. So y'all be safe. Just do whatever you going to do. I love y'all for real. And I'll get out of here so I can cover this Yee, whatever story, and spend some time with my family and stuff for New Year's. All right? Too much, y'all. Too much. But these are the clues that I got. Tied all this together with Pope and the Twitch and Shanquella Robinson and Heche, whoever else. And now Kanye and Barbara Walters, mind you. Don't forget about Barbara Walters. On that note, I'm going to send you all away. I'll see you all in a few minutes. For those of you that are going to be joining me, nonetheless, either way, whether you're joining me or closing out everything with me for the night, I'm going to send you all away with love, with blessings, and